And all that's leading up to the third one, which is to end the war. The war that we have, because when you get that fear, you don't like it.
Hmm.
I'll bet you're thinking, wait a minute, this is stupid. Why am I doing this thing? Go away. I don't want you. Right? Okay. So now that you know you can control this, that you
Hmm.
are in charge of this emotion,
Hmm.
here's what I want you to do. And I'll explain what to do before we start doing it. Um, Step into that emotion and actually feel it and sit with it. I don't know if you've done this, but you at least understand what the concept is. And that is when a friend has some kind of a problem. It's usually an emotional problem, and they want you to just be there with them. They don't
Hmm.
want you to solve the problem for them. They don't even want you to talk about it. They
Hmm.
just want you to be there nearby while they
Hmm.
figure it out for themselves.
Hmm.
Can you relate to that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good, good. Yeah, your daughter might have gone through something like that.
Hmm. Everybody has. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So the spirit with which I want you to be with, this is being present with yourself,
Hmm.
to be with this sensation, this emotion, is that spirit that you're there. You're not going to fix the problem for them. You're not even going to talk about it. You're just going to be there and allow your presence and your sense of acceptance of who they are to give them the extra strength to sort it out themselves. Because most emotions last for 30 seconds to 2 minutes.
Hmm.
They come up and then they dissipate.
Dissipate. Yeah.
I call it they resolve.
Hmm.
Uh, it's like they're a little person and they need to figure out what their problem is, and then they've done. If you watch real little kids, they'll be screaming in rage or fear or something,
Hmm.
and then a minute later they're playing happily and as if nothing had ever happened because they've allowed their emotion to resolve.
Hmm.
Our problem as adults is that we have these big brains and we've trained them, and we've adopted some conditioning that says, oh, that emotion is bad, push it away. Well, acceptance is all about reversing that because it's not healthy. In
Hmm.
fact, having that war with our emotions creates health problems in addition to all sorts of other problems. So um, I will guide you as you do this. So what I want you to do is inside, bring up that emotion, be aware of the sensations, and be present with those sensations as if there were a friend that you were just being with while they sort out their own problem, and let the emotion resolve itself.
Hmm.
Now, it will happen that you find yourself in your head judging it as, oh, there's that rotten emotion again,
Hmm.
or analyzing it,
Hmm.
or thinking about it, or even worse, trying to fix it, or
Hmm.
trying to
It's human nature.
push
Yeah.
it, trying to push it away. Go away. I don't want you here.
Yeah. It's human
Okay.
nature. Yes.
Now, when that happens, all I want you to do is to, in your mind, say, oops, I'm in my head. I'm going to go back to being present. Just that, be nice to yourself, saying, God damn it. No, you say, oops, I'm in my head again. Go back to being present. Make sense?
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
ready to start? So bring up that emotion. until you can feel it, and bring it up to as near a 10 as you're able to, and then be with it in a spirit of acceptance, because this emotion is part of you, Danny. It comes from inside you. Pushing it away is like saying, oh, I don't like my left ear anymore, I'm going to cut it off.
Mm.
Or I don't need that toe.
Mhm.
So accept that this is part of you, and
Mhm.
give that emotion permission to resolve itself. Because this one's been with you for a long time.
Mhm.
That's right. Sometimes it's easier for people to do this with eyes closed. Try it both ways and find out what's easier for you. Just be present with that sensation in a spirit of acceptance. That's right. That's right. And what's happening with that sensation right now?
It slowly dissolve away, slowly
Okay.
faded. Yeah.
Okay. So it's faded completely?
Mhm.
Okay. Bring it back up again. And tell me on the SUD scale how strong you can make it this time.
It's weaker than the first time.
Okay. Okay. Do the same thing. Bring it back up. Sit with it and allow it to resolve.
Each time it lifts shorter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get it down to less than a half a second.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. It takes practice.
Yeah.
Half a
Okay.
second is
Now,
very short time.
yeah, I agree. I agree. And make sure that you're not pushing it away, that you're accepting it, because this emotion comes from inside you, and it comes from a place that's looking after your best interests. I
Mhm.
mean, now it the way it's been doing what it's been doing has gotten in your way and interfered with your life. But when it first came up, which may have been when you were a little kid, um, it was there to protect you. And as you sit with that,
Mhm.
if it makes sense to you, if it feels right, send it love, because it's been looking after you.
Mhm.
Now, and the best way to deal with, call it, people, and I use that with quotes because it's just a part of you, not a full person, uh, is to acknowledge, respect, and accept them. Make friends with them.
Mhm.
So do the same with yourself. Have the same respect for yourself, your inner self, that you have for the people in the world around you. Send it love, and do it in a way that emotion, that sensation, can feel it. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And what happens when you do that?
It becomes something that's no longer a threat. Something is no longer a fear.
Okay.
Something is no longer something that that it bothers you when it comes up because it now it's something that's normal.
Okay. Right. And let's do something cool. Go inside and sit with this and ask, hey, how can we work together to make our future even better?
It's a hard it's a hard concept
Hmm.
because all the way along there have been something that is holding me back,
Right,
but as yet that is there to protect me.
right.
And how do you work with something that holds you back
Well,
that you did not want in the first place?
ah, the way to do that is quite simple. Now that you've recognized that this emotion no longer needs to hold you back, uh, but you can recognize that it's been quite powerful,
Hmm.
very powerful, and very faithful and dependable to do what it believed was looking after your best interests.
Hmm.
Now, with a very powerful part who's utterly dependable at looking after your best interests, the question any reasonable entrepreneur would ask is, oh, how can I take this powerful, dependable aspect of myself and adjust it so that we can work together and make an even better future?
Okay. Okay. I think I'm slowly getting it.
Okay.
It's still a strange concept.
Yeah. It's one that you're not used to, and most people
Hmm.
are not used to understanding emotions the way I do.
Hmm.
And that's not to say that I don't have these same comparable challenges, but
Hmm.
uh, uh, my perspective on these things is quite different from most people that you'll encounter.
Hmm.
And I'm able to guide people to a completely different viewpoint on these things, which suddenly opens doors. Wow, I didn't know I could do that. Cool. So, what do you need to do on your own to carry this forward?
Well, I think part of the game is to recognize that is my natural defense mechanism kicking in,
Right,
and thanking it for trying to be there to protect me,
right.
and um, and it's still a funny concept to try to live with it rather than send it away,
Yes, yeah,
because your natural instinct is okay, fans but no fans, not today. You go
right,
away, I do my thing.
right.
Right? So
Yeah,
how to
yeah.
coexist with it?
That's, well, one thing, a thought is to say, when you feel the fear coming up, you know that you have the ability to just take the helmet off.
Mm.
That's an option. That option is always there.
Hmm.
Uh, consider the possibility of saying, oh, hi, fear. Hey, let's work together and help this potential investor understand how wonderful this idea is. Can
Would
you
it be
can you help me out?
would it be counterproductive to make this into a game? To say, hey, fear, you're there. You can protect me now. I want to beat you. My game is to beat you today.
I see. Like in the spirit of,
It's turned into a game. So
okay,
if I beat that and achieve what I want to achieve, then I got double win. I got extra points today. I don't know. It's
my,
like it's
yeah,
like
I haven't thought of it like that.
it's
And
like a sparring partner. It's
yeah,
like a
yeah,
sparring partner when you. I never practiced judo or anything, but I know people
yeah,
who have a sparring partner.
right,
That the game is to get used to fighting it.
right.
It becomes a
Ah,
game rather than dealing with an adversary. Now it
right,
becomes your practice target.
right. Okay. So if you take it on in the following kind of spirit, let's use the sparring partner metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
The sparring partner is there to hone your skills to achieve success
Mm-hmm.
with the real investor.
Mm-hmm. The real one that you have to deal with,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So
Uh-huh.
if you it's not that you want to defeat fear,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to defeat the investor. You want to project confidence and help the investor, guide the investor to understand how passionate you are about this brilliant idea. So the model of a sparring partner is to work with the fear to project confidence and the brilliance of this wonderful idea. And the role that the fear can play is to pick holes in your arguments.
And make me more ready.
Yeah,
Two ways: either make me more ready, or as a target practice.
yeah. And and
Okay.
you know, if and if your ideas do have a hole in them somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
a risk element that you hadn't thought of or
Yeah.
hadn't worked through,
Yeah.
uh, your fear
That make you think
can
through.
point that out.
Yeah.
Say, oh, we better think about that. So
Yeah.
in that sense, the model of a sparring partner is a good one, but it should
Mm-hmm.
be uh, more of an intellectual sparring partner than
Mm-hmm.
physical,
Mm-hmm.
because defeat is not what you're looking for.
No,
It's
it's a rehearse.
it's a rehearsal that the ask the sparring partner, are you willing to be a director as I go through this rehearsal?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now that's an
Mm-hmm.
idea
Yeah.
worth marketing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, again, that comes from the practice you gave me to face the fear 5 times and
Yeah.
try to bring it down each time, and
Yeah.
each time becomes easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So
Now,
it's the same thing. So if you reenact all of those scenarios ahead of time before you go into the
right.
ring, then whatever gets thrown at you, it just becomes something that you're already familiar with.
Right. Right. Except let me make a tiny adjustment here.
Okay.
When you talk about going into the ring, you're thinking of fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Think instead of you want to share. You have an amazing idea
Mm-hmm. To
that,
win them over,
yeah,
to win the investor over. Yeah.
yeah. Well,
And also to calm
some,
the fear and to win their confidence.
exactly. You want to
Yeah.
be able to project Well, winning confidence, this is more of a hypnotic concept.
Mhm,
Confidence is an inner state.
mhm,
Um, and to the degree with which you can be confident and maintain that confidence as you're talking, you
mhm.
project that confidence.
Because if you lack any of it, it will show in your body language
Yeah, exactly. It'll show in your
that you're
body
not aware of.
language.
It's showing
It'll
everything.
show in your voice. It will
Yep,
show in your choice of words. It
yep,
will show in the pauses between sentences. It'll
yep.
show everywhere.
Everything,
Yes.
everywhere.
And the
Yeah.
confidence will show as well.
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
and then this kind of like what you say is to coexist with the fear and accept the fear. It will give you the chance to rehearse all of those, so that
right.
you realize that they're no longer something that will stick its ugly head out at the time when you don't want it.
Exactly. In other words, accept that emotion rather than
Hmm.
calling it fear, call it my director or something,
Hmm.
and accept it, make friends with it, and utilize its power.
Hmm. It's along the same learning path as accepting your own past, and not let that be the demon that haunt you.
Oh yeah, yes. I have a great the chapter 10 in the book, the first half of
Hmm.
chapter 10 in my book
Hmm.
deals with that. How to take all of those
Hmm.
and change them. Basically, it's a process to take all of your life experiences with less
Hmm.
than positive outcomes. Take
Hmm.
every one of them and convert them. You take because they all have some sort of emotion with them.
Hmm. Oh
We
yeah.
take the emotion and send it to 0 on that SUD scale, and we replace that emotion with a lesson learned.
With the experience you gain from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the lesson I learned from this?
Hmm.
Because the emotion makes you feel bad about the past, focusing your
Hmm.
attention on the past.
Yeah.
The lesson gives you guidance for improving your future.
Yeah.
So it's a huge shift.
Yeah. And also that one of the things that I often, when I'm in the right mindset to think about, is that when you look at everything happened in the past, it seems everything happened for a reason, because whatever good or bad, it leads to something
Right.
that
Right.
lead to the next step, and then it's
Yeah.
all that bring you to where you are today. And may that be branded as positive or negative, it shapes your experience.
Exactly.
It
Well,
it adds into your treasure chest of things
yeah,
that you have.
the thing that the the lesson I drew, the
Hmm.
biggest lesson I drew from writing the book that I did
Hmm.
was that probably at least 10,000 times a day, we make a
Hmm.
choice
Hmm.
about whether to focus our attention on what we want or focus it on what's in our way or what's missing or what's wrong.
Hmm. It's like looking at the
Yeah.
road versus looking at the bush.
Yeah.
Which way you want to do,
It's,
right?
yeah. It's,
Yeah.
so you get a flat tire and you
Hmm.
can go, oh, a flat tire. Oh, my life is over. Oh, this is
Hmm.
terrible. Or you
Hmm.
can say, okay, well, so call CAA and hey, I got a flat tire. Come on out and fix it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
What do I
that's
do to
yeah,
not let interrupt me? Yeah.
yeah. So that's focusing on what you want.
Hmm.
And the conclusion I drew about that is that we all have sort of an ultimate goal in mind. It's
Hmm.
usually a pretty vague vision of our future, but it's
Hmm.
some form of satisfaction, happiness, fulfillment, some some mix of those things is the mindset that we want to end up at.
Hmm.
And what I realized is that when we have learned to spend the vast bulk of our attention on what we want, we're there.
Yeah.
We're already there.
Yes, I believe in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
The best way to make the future happen is to live there.
Yeah. Well, live in the present. Be aware of what you want and live in the present.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, live in the
Okay.
present, but keep your mindset at where you want to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Focusing on what you want. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you
Okay.
go now, Danny.
Okay, thank you very much.
I hope
It's
you've
been
taken
very,
a lot away from this, and we
yeah,
can talk more about it tomorrow.
it's amazing. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye now.
Bye now.